Hello everybody, my name is Cody Spurlock, and today we are joined by a very special guest.
I'm Mario Ortiz.
So, on this series I like to highlight what makes us as student and staff, at the high school special. However, you are no longer a student nor staff of the high school. But you played a big role here in the 4 years that you were here. So I want to talk about what makes you special, and who is Mario Ortiz, or who was Mario Ortiz when you go back to college. I begin by asking just a simple question: what makes you special?
According to you, I went here, so I think that's the front runner.
Front runner, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, just I guess things about me.
Just the things about
my hobbies.
And that's a part of it. What you do is a part of it. And throughout our conversation, I think we're going to kind of be able to nail down, what makes Mario Ortiz special. And so I'm going to just go ahead and begin. While you were in high school, what were some of the things that you were part of?
It was a while ago, but...
Oh, come on. It's only been a year.
So I was part of the three main sports: football, basketball, baseball.
I was throwing a little shade at track there.
Yeah. Basically. Those three...
And wrestling.
I respect wrestling.
Okay. I'll settle for respect wrestling.
Wrestling's above track for me, so it gets that little...
Okay, I'll settle for that.
Yeah. But as part of those three sports, I was part of, FBLA. I was the president for 1 or 2 years. I think I was president for 1 year, then I stepped down to let Rhea take over because she just did a lot more for it. FBLA, Stuco for 2 years. My freshman year, which is actually an interesting story, in my senior year. So my freshman year, they only had Gavin Moore come out as a boy.
Oh yeah?
And there were 7 girls and 1 boy, and Miss File, who was in charge of Stuco at the time, came to me and she was like, "I've heard you've had good grades, I hear you're a good person. Do you want to join so he's not the only guy?" Because he's complained about it a little. And so I was like, yeah. And so I just got invited to. Scholars Bowl for 4 years. Mr. Lane was our Scholars Bowl coach for all 4. He left this year.
Yep.
Interesting. He won Teacher of the Year. Had to get out of here.
Hey, he said it. Show me the money. Hutch showed him the money. That's
in the bag.
That's all we could say. Can't diss on a guy for taking a pay increase. I mean,
honestly, he has a lot of family too, so honestly, it's good for him.
Yeah.
Let's see, those 3. I did chess club, which just playing.
Yeah.
Not at a high level, obviously, but you just get into it. What else was there?
You did debate for 2 years?
I did do debate for 2 years. My freshman year, where I was a novice, and we did really well. That was Mr. Yates' first year.
Yep.
The year he was here when you guys won state.
Yeah,
that was
last
fun.
year, yeah.
I did debate for 2 years, band for 4 years, and I think that was it. Yeah,
and that's a lot of things, right? That you did a lot throughout high school, and when I think about some of the activities that I'm a part of right now, I think about you still in a lot of them. When we talk about football and basketball and baseball, and then specifically for me, I still I miss you this year doing Scholars Bowl. I bet if you were here this year with Scholars Bowl, we'd be going to state. We got and so some of our success that we've seen this year in some activities, and some of the success that we saw previously, a lot of it comes through the development that happened with you, and so when I asked what makes you special, one of the first things, you got it just right. You went here, and what you created while you were here, and some of the foundations that you put in place for a lot of people. You know, it was beneficial, right? You know, when I think about band, you know, I still think about, you know, your contributions there. And, you know, I didn't learn how to play my instrument because of you. You know, percussion and the clarinet are a little bit different, but being a part of band and, you know, having, you know, your overall, you know, your aura, you know, you in the room was sometimes just enough. You know, it was a fun experience to be a part of. And that's, you know, when I think about all of the things that you know, that we've been a part of together, I have fun is what I think of. It was always fun to you know, compete with you and to do things with you. And, you know, even in FBLA, for example, you know, last year was my first year in FBLA, and there was two main reasons I joined. You know, it was Rhea nagging at me all the time to join.
Yeah, she
does that, and then, you know, the second reason was, you know, the fact that you were a part of it. And I knew that if I came to FBLA, and even if I absolutely hated it, at least I got to go to state with Mario. So, you know, that was always a big part of me. And then I ended up liking FBLA, and I started doing pretty well last year. And, you know, this year, this year me and Rhea are co-presidents because she tried to pull a you, actually. She told me at the beginning of this year, she was like, hey, I might step down and let you be president. I was like, no, hang on.
Miss Nichols makes you do a lot.
Yeah, and, you know, we've, you know, the FBLA program is one that, you know, you kind of kept alive through the transition period, through Croker to Nichols.
Yeah, so Miss Croker, when she was here, I think she left my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And she ran it. Like, she did everything for it. All the kids had to do was show up and do well. Like, she fundraised for her events through the Croker shop, which has now transformed into the Panther Den.
Yeah, have you been there recently?
I haven't, but I've seen like pictures of it.
The Panther Den is I am proud of. I am not even that a part of it. I'm not that much a part of it. I am proud of what the Miss Croker's little underground snack shop has turned market into. Yeah.
But she fundraised for it. She did all the payments. She helped you study. And then when she retired, it was just like a toss-up to see who's going to get it. And along with her retiring, many of the kids who were in there already were graduating. It was mostly seniors and me and Destiny, I think. Yeah,
and then some of the kids who did it, you know, my freshman year, kind of, you know, they didn't come back because Miss Croker, you know, she was a personality, and
she was so fun.
And, you know, when Miss Nichols came in, you know, obviously a lot of people didn't know her, and, you know, I think she's transitioned well. I
for sure.
Miss Nichols has, and she's taken a bit of a different approach with it, kind of, you know, putting responsibility on students to make sure, which I think is kind of, you know, one of the foundations of FBLA. But, you know, I question whether or not we would have been able to see, you know, I would have been able to see, for example, some of the success I saw last year if you weren't there throughout the transition and making sure our program kind of, you know, stayed, you know, relevant. When I think of contributions, you know, the FBLA one is a big one. And then also, MLB The Show, never played it before last year at state.
Kind of dog walked you in that.
A little bit, yeah. But you know what? I bet now, I'm telling you, you get destroyed.
Sure. I believe you.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't sound like you. Maybe we're gonna have to. You know, actually, you know, I play against you, but I only play against, you know, good competition now. So okay. You know, I wouldn't want to walk over you. But
that's fair.
You know, and talk about you know, I joke about that, but you know, it kind of all goes back to you know who you were, you know, while you were here, but it wasn't just FBLA. You know, we're going to go watch the basketball games and just and just a little bit, and you know, that's a team who you were a part of all 4 years, and you know, you were a pretty big leader on that team. And an inspiration is a lot of the young guys. So, you know, what was it like, you know, coming in as a freshman and then going all throughout being a senior and now looking at the team now?
It was a little hard, like all the sports basically, because my freshman year that was basically the last year that Nickerson did like above average in sports, and those seniors got cut short by COVID. That's the first year COVID happened. That midsummer in the middle of basketball season, we were gone for a week. Practiced the next week after that. Never happened. Didn't happen until my sophomore year. We never really saw those seniors again, and they were good leaders.
Yeah.
It just sucks that we didn't get more of them, and that affected basketball and baseball the most.
Yeah.
Because even baseball, we only had 1 week of practice, and then it was quarantine fully online.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my freshman year. Coming back sophomore year, we had 15 seniors on the roster, 13 seniors on the roster.
Yeah.
And, you know, with that many seniors, they all can't play varsity with good minutes. You can't run a two rotation offense, defense. You can't just do that in basketball very well. And along with the fact that a lot of those guys were JV players before COVID, I mean, we just didn't have a lot of good leaders.
And a lot of our early development kind of got snubbed out. You know, I think back to when I was a freshman during football, you know, middle of the season, quarantine. We lost out on, you know, like 2 weeks of practice. And, you know, that season didn't go great for us. And when I think back on it, we saw a lot of injuries that season, especially on the line. A lot of injuries happen, and then a lot of kids just, you know, they lost some of their motivation, they lost some of their drive, because we didn't know if we were going to go back online that my freshman year, which would have been your sophomore year. And so, you know, throughout your development, you know, a lot of it got interrupted there. And, you know, that still is affecting our teams now because, you know, we learn a lot from our seniors. You know, we learn a lot from our upperclassmen. You know, when I talk about how, you know, how much I've learned from you and how much, you know, you've helped me, for example, you know, if that just never happened, you know, who knows? You know, who knows what that would be like. And so, I obviously I feel, you know, I didn't experience it, you know, as much in the moment because I didn't come till the following year. But I can only imagine how difficult it was having that whole year kind of just snubbed from you.
Then my junior year, we had 4 seniors on the team.
Yeah.
And only one person on the whole team had played varsity basketball, and that was Carson Lynn.
Yeah.
And the one other senior, it was his first year coming back after not playing basketball for 2 years. I mean, just as a junior, I'm just trying to help everyone grow.
Yeah.
You know, get everyone used to it. When you don't have that faster pace experience, it's hard to go up to that level at a good pace.
Yeah, and you know, you've taken that leadership position early on, which, you know, a lot of people don't end up taking until, you know, they are a senior and they've seen all of it and they've gone through all the development. And, you know, so some of that interruption that happened, you know, it played a role on you and on everyone else. And so I think it marked a very big shift. And something that I talked about with Nuss on an earlier episode is how, in a way, Nickerson lost a part of its identity during COVID. You know, we lost a connection to our past and to our history because, you know, like you said, you just once COVID hit, those seniors who were there, just gone. You know, you didn't. Some of them, you know, you didn't see again. And you know that affects the school, and it continues to affect the school. You know, today, for example. And so, you know, going into your senior year, you know, what was some of the mentality that you were carrying?
I was just trying to be a good, example. I was more of a lead by example type of guy and don't get in your head. If someone made a mistake, I would just say, it's fine, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be screaming at them. I wouldn't be maybe a little disappointed inside, but I wouldn't. Yeah. I would actively try not to show it because I believe that having a great mindset is the best thing you can do.
Yeah. And you know, throughout your senior year, you know, I think it marked the start of a change for our school. And, you know, I feel for, you know, your guys' class specifically, because in a lot of ways you were kind of robbed of that normal high school experience, of that the normalcy that a lot of schools and a lot of generations got to see. But I think one thing that you did specifically well is being that example. You know, because going into this year, we know what it's supposed to look like. And so, you know, our job as seniors is to start to show the younger guys, you know, what it is, you know, and now we're going to have, assuming, you know, absence another global pandemic or something along the lines, you know, we can have the next 4 years of kids who are going to get to see that normalcy. We're going, you know, once I graduate and once my class is gone, we're going to have a group of kids who didn't have to go through COVID in high school. And so we can start to rebuild some of that, you know, some of that culture and some of that loss that was experienced during your freshman year. And for example, during your, you know, my sophomore year and my freshman year and your sophomore year, sorry. And, you know, so, you know, firstly, I'd like to say thank you, you know, for what you did in high school, but that's done, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's done. You know,
sure.
You probably haven't thought about high school this much since you were here. I mean, and even then some, right? Because, you know, one thing that I think I finally am starting to understand is, you know, what senioritis is.
Yeah.
I have lived in Miss Stout's room these past couple of weeks, and, you know, it's just like, I'm done. I feel like an old man. I'm walking around the hallways now, and I'm like, who are these people? You know, I see our Scholars Bowl team, and you know, it's still me and Caden and Haley, but it's also like, you know, I still remember being a freshman with, you know, me, Carson, you, Dean, Wyatt, and so you know, when I think of you know, when I think of high school, and a lot of the key figures throughout high school are gone, being a senior, and that's always, you know, that's something that you experience, and that I'm finally starting to, you know, see, you know, when I think of these past 4 years, you, Zach, those are two of the main guys who I think of, and, you know, they're just not here anymore, and, you know, you guys are all, you and Zach particularly, you know, off doing great things, you know, Zach Perry, you know, working for England Construction, and, you know, you are over at Fort Hays.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings me, you know, to what I'm getting at. So, what is it like going to Fort Hays?
It's great, honestly. I really like this school. It's way bigger than Nickerson.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Hays town is about the size of Hutch, a little bit smaller. So all those kids, I think Hays is a 5A.
Yeah.
Also. But a bunch of those kids go to Fort Hays, and it's just, you see so many people.
Yeah.
You see, like, plenty of people. You can have 5 classes.
Are you able to appreciate the size of it a little more coming from, you know, a smaller school background?
No, definitely. Especially since I'm the only one from my class who went there. From our school, I know Philip Manga. He plays football there.
Plays football over at Fort Hays? You know, I had no clue.
He does.
Yeah, that's great.
He went to Hutch. He transferred over to Fort Hays D2. So I know him, and I know Alexis Allen. She studies there. But that's it. From the thousands of kids who enroll there, who go there in person, I've only knew like 2 of them from here. So I've had to go to school, go to my classes, go to clubs, meet new people, have new friends. I mean, it's just way different than here, where I've known these people from grade school to middle school to 4 years of high school with them playing sports. I don't play any of their sports over there. I do intramurals, but that doesn't start until like a few weeks into the school year.
Oh, what are you looking at doing, or what are you doing in the intramurals?
So right now we're doing basketball, co-ed basketball.
But you're a dog on the court there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go.
You can, yeah.
You're not lying to me now, are you?
No, I'm not.
No? Okay, I'll believe you.
For sure. But Then at the beginning of the year, when it was actually nice temperature, there's sand volleyball and there's indoor volleyball. After spring break, which is like the 11th, I think, for us. I don't know what it is for you guys. It's around there because our spring breaks almost line up. After that, it'll be softball. And I think that's really cool. Intramurals is just such a great idea.
Yeah, being able to still play sports. Because, at the end of the day, some of us either don't want to, and unfortunately, some of us aren't cut out to play, Division II or college sports. And, it's so cool that you're able to, still have fun in some of the activities that you did here, at Nickerson. And a little bit of a less pressure environment.
Yeah. You're just playing to play. I mean, there's no crowd, there's no parents yelling at you if you make a mistake. There's no coaches yelling at you.
No alumni saying, we would have won that game. Our class would have won that game. Which, I think we both experienced a little bit, and we experienced it. We get alumni who we went to high school with a few years ago, even, who come and they'll heckle at some of our games. But then I think back and it's like, you were part of the class that we lost every football game with. It's like, hang on, I'm not, we're not pretending. We're not a football school. We haven't done as well as what we want to do. But it's always a little interesting to see. It's like, would you have won that game? Because you didn't. and I always find that a little funny. And so taking some of the pressure off of sports, that's probably a bit more fun.
It's always also just fun playing those sports because Fort Hayes, they let you use their gyms.
Oh yeah.
So they have this coliseum a little off campus. It's still on the campus. It's just really a lot to the side. And they have the main gym where they play their basketball and volleyball games. And then connected to it, they have 4 auxiliary gyms. And those you're free to use whenever you want, whenever they're not having intramurals in them.
Sweet.
You can just go from those hours. And I think it's really fun to just go down and play pickup with people who will understand the game with you.
Yeah. What do you think, are some of the things that you did here at Nickerson that set you up for having the best college experience?
Being a student of the game. Like all of them. Because I love learning about sports. Like football, I wouldn't choose to play it. I did, because obviously I'm going to be competitive and help my school, my friends win some games, as many as we can.
Yeah.
It's just fun to learn about them, the ins and outs of defense and offense of each sport. Basketball, zone, man, press, break. And
some of these words you're saying in basketball, for example, over my head,
Yeah, baseball too. You just got to learn all the rotations. I think that's interesting. Being a utility player, I just had to know a bunch of rotations for every position other than catcher.
Yeah.
I'm not a catcher.
Yeah, see, what I do in baseball is a little bit more simple, hope they don't need me. I don't
know.
Hope they don't need me on offense, and then go hit a dinger. So that was my baseball. It's like, all right, I'll be a JV warrior. I'll hit dingers off these JV pitchers my entire 4 years. I don't care.
Big poppy.
Yeah,
you go in, hit a nice hit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm slow if I hit it over the fence.
That's true. They don't time it. They don't time it in high school.
So, I asked that question, not only because, one, I'm about to start on a similar path. I'm looking at, K-State going to another, massive school. Our job in high school, as much as we love, this place while we're here, right? And we'll love it after. The goal of high school isn't to win state. It isn't to go undefeated. The goal of high school is to get you ready for the rest of your life. And so while the accomplishments, we have here are great and they're cool, and they should be celebrated, it's more of a side effect of us being here and not the purpose. And so, you know, we joke about it, you know, we won one game in football. That doesn't affect you in college.
No.
And,
No, not at all.
I mean, besides, you know, maybe somebody making a joke about it, nobody really cares about, you know, a lot of the stuff that we get, you know, all caught up on.
The jokes that I hear aren't of us going 1-8. It's of people in our friend group having bad school sports experiences.
Yeah.
There's so many schools that are just like us, but that turn out good people.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my friends don't come from sports schools that are like well off.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're a good person, you're a good person. You got ready for college. You got ready for the next step.
And, you know, that's something that I find super important is, you know, in high school we get caught up on a lot of little things. We get caught up on whether it be, you know, I don't even like the word, the drama of it.
Love that word.
We get caught up on how many basketball games did we win, how did we do in football and in baseball. But, you know, at the end of the day, our goal is not to be the Mike Trout of high school baseball. It's not to be the Marshawn Lynch of football, of high school football. It's to get ready for the rest of our lives. And so if you want to see what a successful school is, it's a school that can produce kids who can get ready for the rest of their lives. And, you know, from what it seems like for me, you know, at least in this case, it worked. So, you know, I wish you the best on, you going in Fort Hays and what you do after. And when I think about, what makes you special, you know, a part of it will always be the fact that, you're a Nickerson Panther, right? That you went here. And a part of it is all the things that you did. But I think what makes you truly special is, who you are as a person. The mentality that you took while you were in here of just the positivity, helping others be the best that they can be. And that's what I think matters most, right? Because people will forget that we placed third at league last year in Scholars Bowl.
Yeah.
People will forget that you were president of FBLA one time. But what they won't forget about you is who you were, as a nice guy, a dude who could, walk into a room and just, make people, enjoy being in that space more. So, that's what I think of, when I think about what makes you special. So thank you for coming and having this conversation with me. For all of you, we're going to have a few more episodes this week. If you also are interested, go ahead and check out last Friday's live stream where both me, Mario, and Carson England were giving you some live commentary of the homecoming game. At the time of recording, we don't know the results, but we'll get you at them as soon as possible. So thank you all for watching it and listening, and have a good rest of your days.